What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, I wasn't originally going to record this or film this or show you guys, but I feel like I had to share this information with you guys because for years I've been trying to find a way to remove this stuff easier or more efficiently, or just really to get the best results. And I think we found a way, and thanks to my daughter, her suggestion, by the way, I'm going to show you guys what we got going on. Now we're working on the C10. Of course, we're still waiting on parts, aka our motor and transmission package, but I decided to go ahead and get the rest of the interior removed along with this kill mat slash sound deadening mat. You guys already know, man, when this stuff goes on, it's a pain in the butt to remove. It is just absolutely just disgusting, all the above. It gets all over your pants, your hands, you name it. But you guys can see we're getting a really nice finishes. This is probably the best finish I've ever gotten doing it this method. I'm going to show you what we're doing and kind of how I go about it. And we've even tried the ice method or slash dry ice method, and it worked okay, but not really. Probably because it was a hot summer day. But let me show you. The best way I've found to do this, to make it as easy as possible, it's still time consuming, of course, but it's this little guy here. Little multi-tool. This is nothing fancy. It's just a multi-tool from Harbor Freight with a scraper on the end of it. And that really allows you to get this stuff off. But the problem is, doing it this way is it leaves a really thick goo, like tar. Like you guys can see how nasty that stuff is. It leaves that stuff on the bottom, and it's really hard to get off with any abrasive or anything you can think of as sanding. Like, it just gums everything up, and it's just really bad. Even heat, when you apply heat to this, like we've used heat, and it still leaves that glue, residue, tar stuff everywhere. So what my daughter suggested was little this stuff, and believe it or not, it works. We just let it soak and sit, and then you take your scraper once you have that sitting, basically marinating that stuff, and it comes off really easy, and you can see the finish we're getting. I mean, it is absolutely the best finish I have ever gotten trying to get this stuff off without taking, you know, just countless of hours trying to sand and gumming up sanding disc and abrasive wheels and even scrapers. But again, it is still time consuming, but for me, this is getting the best result because look how nice the floors are still. They're not all super scuffed up. Now, we are scuffing them up in a few places just by actually obviously using the scraper here and there. You can tell where we're kind of hitting the metal here and there in certain corners just because we're trying to get that sound deadening stuff off. But let's go ahead and do it. Let me just go ahead and try it. I'm going to show you guys how I go about it so you guys can kind of see for yourself, and let me know if you guys have any better way of doing this, because this is what we've come up with. Definitely gonna want some gloves for sure, because this stuff right here, man, this stuff, it is absolutely messy. So definitely get you guys some rubber gloves along with your Goo Gone, scraper, and that multi-tool. And I'm using like a cup basically, and what I'll do, I'll show you guys here in a sec. Once I got this stuff off, when I'm scraping, you can dump that stuff in like a cup or a bowl or just something to get rid of it and clean your scraper off, of course. Some rags, you're going to need some rags, whether it's rags or paper towels or something. But I'm going to go ahead and start with the multi-tool so you guys can see how nice and easy this actually comes up with this guy here. So we'll start with in a corner here, see if we can get underneath, and then go from there. how disgusting that is. I mean, that is absolutely nuts. Like, this stuff gets everywhere, man. Like, this is absolutely so gross. It gets on your pants, your clothes, it's over. But you guys can see, I mean, that's pretty quick work of that section right there with just that multi-tool. Like I said, it got most of it off, obviously. And the trick is definitely to try to get all the thick stuff out of here. Like all this thick stuff here. You want to get all that stuff out of here before we start to hit it, because this stuff just spreads around like crazy. And even when you try to use the scraper method, if you don't have the Goo Gone on, it actually just like moves. All it does is move it around and spreads it. And it's so stupid, if I'm being honest. Like, it's such a frustrating process. But see if I can get some of this big chunk stuff off. We'll spray some of that Goo Gone on here and then let it do its thing. And then we're going to go ahead and soak this whole area here. Get it nice and drenched. Don't be shy with the Goo Gone. Now, I've noticed this is actually my second bottle. My first bottle was like half empty. But I went to Harbor Freight and they have this nice spray bottle, and I feel like it's a better way to get coverage throughout this entire cab here. If you want to let that sit for like 5 minutes or so, and what that's going to do is just going to soften that tar up, basically, that adhesive that's on the back of these sound deadenings. It softens it up, and then you can take your scraper and you can just start scraping. You can just see it start to come off pretty easy, but this is why we have the cup, because once your scraper gets full, you just kind of dump it in there and just keep working it. And then once you have the majority of the big stuff off, you can go in with the towel and then wipe it down. So let's see here. It hasn't been sitting that long, but I want to show you guys that it actually works pretty quick. So you can see. Just gonna keep working it, and look at that. Alright, I think we're in a good spot right here. We got a lot of it off for sure. And now we can hit it with a couple paper towels and just try to get the majority of that stuff cleaned off. And you can start to see the floor looking really good. So we'll just take a couple paper towels in here and just start wiping some of this stuff off. Getting it out of there. Getting all that just tar out of there. It's nuts. It's pretty gross. So you can see the floor starting to come up. I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather do this than try to scrape up the floor with an abrasive or a wire brush, and that's a lot more work. And then that stuff just ends up gumming up anyways, and it just kind of beats up the floor. Hard to get off. Like at this with the Goo Gone, you still actually get a really nice surface, like a smooth surface. It's just messy for sure, but you can see the floor starting to come alive here, and I am liking that a lot. So what I'll do is I'll keep wiping some of this stuff off, and then we'll hit it again one more time with the Goo Gone, so that way we can get a couple spots that we miss, or have a few areas that still have like a little bit more of that goose. You can still see that adhesive in there. Like any of the crevices are always the hardest because they're dipped and they're not flat. But we'll keep working it. You can just see the difference already. Let's see, moment of truth here. Let's see what we got going on. You guys can tell me if this is something you guys would do or a different method. Now obviously with the scraper you are going to scratch the floor from time to time, you know, just naturally from trying to get into corners and crevices, even the multi-tool. But if you ask me, this is the best finish. Like I said, I have been able to get removing this stuff without spending a week of sanding and abrasives and scraping by hand. This is a pretty good finish if you ask me. Now what I know is there's a lot of glue actually from when they had the carpet glued in here at some point. It's crazy because the Goo Gone, I would imagine it would actually took that glue off fairly well, but it actually did not. It actually, that adhesive, whatever this spray adhesive is, the fabric adhesive, seems to hold up a lot more than the tar or adhesive from the actual sound deadening material. Like the sound deadening material to the Goo Gone seems to surrender pretty easily to that stuff, but like I said, that fabric adhesive is definitely harder to get off. Like it looks like it's not doing much to it, the Goo Gone. But what you guys think, man? What do you guys think? I am liking this now for sure. Obviously we got a couple panels left on the other side that we have to finish up. But what I'll do, once we got all that finished up, I'll come back in here with the DA and sand the rest of the floor down a little bit. Hit it with maybe like a 180 grit just to get some of that other glue off and other little stuff that might have been left. And then we can actually coat the floor with some rust preventative coating. So that way, when we go back and put our new sound mat on, it's got a really nice finish. Now, again, fellas, I have said, for me, this truck is absolutely, the best part about it is these floors. These floors are really nice shape. Like, look at this. I mean, the bottom is just as nice, no rust. Now, another reason, I don't know if I remember I talked about it or not, why I wanted to remove all the sound deadening stuff, because I'm not sure if we're going to have to cut this trans tunnel for the transmission for the 8HP 90. I'm crossing my fingers we don't. But it's still good to kind of get ahead of it and have it prepped just in case we got to start cutting and putting a bigger tunnel in it. But let me know what you guys think, man. Put it down in the comments below. Give you guys one last view so you can see how nice of a finish that is. I mean, that's pretty good. Like I said, we're still going to go over it with the DA, clean it up a little bit more. But now we don't have to worry about that sanding disc getting all gummed up. But this one, we still got to finish this side, and then we got to take this stuff off still. It is getting windy out here, you guys, but I think that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully the next time you guys see us, we will have a motor, maybe, trans, I don't know. But I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm getting a little nervous because the time crunch. I really want to have this truck done for LS Fest. Did I tell you guys we were going to LS Fest? If I didn't tell you, yeah, we're going to LS Fest. We'll definitely be racing the Chevelle, but I'd love to have this in the booth. But if you guys are going to LS Fest West, put a comment down below. Let me know, man. Hit me up. We'll see you guys out there. But you guys already know, hit the subscribe button, the like button, and hit the bell for notifications. And stay wrenching.